I'm sorry, that's probably one of the funnier comments. All of us gather and listen to our leader Maxie's edifying speech at 11 o'clock every morning. Every morning. Every morning! Poor guy. Good morning, Baron. You ready for your 11 o'clock edifying speech? Hi, Leander. That's funny, because I called that, too. Goodbye, coughing. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, hello, worm. Yep, Renegade. I know, it's shocking, right? That a game can have negative things in them. Of them, only one of those negatives is actually unique to the game, though. You know, what's Team Aqua's salute? Like, Magma has this ridiculous thing going on. What the heck are Aqua doing? Hello, Zalok. Yeah, we've got all 6 going. Including our resident HM slaves. Uh-oh. It's a lie from Zalok. You know how I feel about lies, Zalok. Speaking of which, someone donated $5 through DonorBox this morning. And if you are that person, do me a favor and tell me something. Good morning, Quanta. Sorry, I just realized I didn't say thank you. Thank you very much, Zillow, for the sub. That I'm not sure you actually did, but I'll let it slide this time. So thank you very, very much, as ever and always. If I thanked you Friday, I'll believe you. I'll be completely honest, I have a hard time remembering who subbed when. Which is why I keep notes. Let's see, did you sub Friday? Let's double check the notes. Zillow. There it is, Planetfall. What do you know? Great, Alex. I'll see what I can do. I'm not going to promise anything. We'll see. If I have to push FF14 forward and Folklore back, whatever. Did I say hi, Adam? Hi, and hi to Koida? Oh, God! I don't remember who I've said hi to. Hello to everybody. I'm a man who knows how to create a very small, successful experience for myself. Now that is a life lesson right there. I'm not even joking. Oh, 6-axis is fine. I mean, have you ever played Flower? No, the problem is PS3 controllers are known for dying over time. That's the problem. Well, clearly that's why you just kill millions of people, Baron, every day. Oh, God. Thank you very much, Potato. Much appreciate the sub and the lines for Ramu. Good stuff, by the way. Good stuff. I haven't actually jotted them in yet, because I was having... Well, you don't want to hear. I was having not feeling good problems this morning. Let's put it that way. That's why we were late, too. But... I have listened to them, independent of editing them, and they sounded good, so I don't think I'll need you to do a second take. And Link's Awakening, so noted. Yeah, we'll see, Alex. I didn't... Like, my biggest problem isn't the 6-axis itself, it's making sure my controller works. That's my problem. I guess I am running very low on healing items. Fine. Yeah, $3 for a lemonade. That's ridiculous. I'm just kidding. Clearly, Team Magma is secretly a bunch of good guys. Hey, Danny. What is up? Yeah, today the DKC2 stuff is going live. And then tomorrow we'll start the Fire Emblem run, I believe, on YouTube. The usual, as if it was a normal game, Adam. And yes, respectively. Listen, Dream Whisperer, we need to kill everyone to make more land so people are happy. It's funny because Team Magma, like, I think I mentioned this already, Team Magma doesn't exactly have a bad idea. Just, you know, they're extremist idiots. Anyways, I suppose I should voice out Adam's... Well, there's a reason I kept saying alleged, Alex. That's even weirder since it was already going to be a Nintendo of America thing only. But anyways, that sucks. What was I about to say? Adam asked the question, if we do a premiere run of the other paths in Fire Emblem, 3 houses, what will it take, and will we add those to the score? And the answer is same as any other game, because it's basically the length of a full game. And it will, this score will be added to the existing score, yes, because it's the same game. The Magma Suit, a collaboration of Devon and Science Technology. Aha, Tabitha used to work for Devon. It all makes sense now. Not really, no, Adam. The only real signs of military in the Pokemon setting are Lieutenant Surge in Gen 1, which is something I could just dismiss out of hand, to be completely blunt. And mentions of the Pokemon War a millennia ago, or 3 millennia ago, or whatever it was. So basically, no. What's the suggestion, Zalo? If it's to stab you, then you got it. No, seriously, what is it, though? Lol, Alex. Yeah, did you see Tabitha had a whole 10-year plan for grunt improvement? It's nice little touch there. And he had a bunch of magazines about how adorable Pokemon are. I'm starting to like Tabitha more and more. I wish he had a guy's name. Sorry. I legitimately thought he was a she until I saw his face, and I was like, oh, okay, got it. Only 3,000 years ago. Now hold up. What do you mean by filter out games that are funded to load? I don't understand what you mean. Like, we already do that? Like, if you'll notice, FF14 is not on the... There's no bar for FF14. It's only on the coming up soon thing. I've got to be misremembering. Wasn't Tabitha a person in Gen 1? No, I'm thinking of Agatha, aren't I? Aren't I? I gotta look that up now. Let's see here. In-depth classic, Adam. I'm right. Agatha. My bad. Although you can probably understand why I get Agatha and Tabitha a little mistaken there. I mean, Planetfall's out like 2 weeks ago, isn't it? Whoops. Oh, I think I get what you're saying. You want me to have sort the list by what games are out versus what games are not out yet. Is that what you're saying? As in, which games have already been released? I have no idea how I do that. I mean, I doubt it, Zalog. People are well aware that Cyberpunk is exceptionally funded and are still putting money towards it. The only thing I could think to do that, Zalog, would be to make 2 lists. So there's 2 columns on the left side. One for stuff that's out and one for stuff that's not. Then I just have to keep track when games come out and shift them to the out list rather than the not out list. As an aside, I'm not actually sure... Like, this is going to sound weird, but I'm pretty sure the overwhelming majority of the list right now is stuff that's out. And I don't. Owen Miles. I have no idea how to do randomizers on the 3DS. Yes, Adam. Several, actually. Including this one, although we've only had a couple of dual battles so far. I think Gen 4 added triple battles, right? I don't remember which one added triple. I know one of them added triple battles. Apparently it was Gen 5, sorry. Gen 5 added triple battles, which is an awesome idea we need to have more of, by the way. I also like rotation battles. See, the problem is we already have a pretty specific setup to allow it to be sorted at all, Zalok. What would probably happen is it would be sort by out or not out. But that would be basically sorting which things have a 1 and which things have a 0. Which wouldn't really be all that great, which is why I didn't even suggest that option. Let's see. Yeah, I want the always can hit. Alright, now a quintuple battle. Which would actually be really cool if it actually was true. I could take 5 on at once. Bring it. They're all... God, your Pokemon suck! Hi, Hushy Love. What's going on? By the way, I'm going to ask this again. I'm going to ask this periodically throughout the day. So someone donated through DonorBox this morning / last night. If you are that someone, let me know, so I can properly put you in the credits for funding Vampire the Masquerade. Hey look, Earthquake hits all of them. Huh. Goodbye. Shadow Machine wrecked their face. Did you cheat? Technically, I have cheated, but no, not really. I have no idea when it becomes Flygon. I know you've told me several times, I just don't remember. Yeah, what I remember most of Gen 7... well, that's not true. One of the things I remember most about Gen 7 is that it had trouble every now and then. Like, it would stall and lag just playing the game periodically, which is kind of sad. No, Alex, see, the problem is DonorBox tells me only one thing. Their legal name, the one attached to the credit card that they use to donate with. Which doesn't help me, because I don't know basically anyone's legal names. And I don't want to. I also do not want to dox people by saying, and thanks to blah 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 for donating for this run. Also, I just realized I'm an idiot, and in fact, I realized this yesterday, too. So I want to... I usually say thank you to who funds this at the very beginning of a run, and I completely forgot. And I'm a moron. So we're going to put the thanks scrolling thing up here. God, I actually wrote down who funded this run. It's actually not that many people. It's Eingrad. Hopefully he's doing okay, wherever he is. Myron, 97. Psychotic. Alex Korabianiki, which I'm pronouncing wrong. Sigma 25, and the overwhelming majority of this run funded by Ice Tray. So thank you, all of you, for funding this chill run. Much appreciated and much obliged to all of you. Thank you. Actually, let's do something really quick here. Hang on. Just want to kind of do that. There we go. Yes, Ice Tray funded like 2/3, if not 3/4, of this run by himself. That's not a joke. It's kind of like how whenever we do Empire at War or Jedi Academy, those runs will almost entirely have been funded by Vigilant. Why does she sing every now and again? It's all over now. Why does it look like... Never mind. You want to engage me, huh? I mean, sure, I guess. Oh, that's not what you... Okay, never mind. I thought you meant something else. I mean, she's got the hair. Actually, she does look weirdly cute. Which means she's probably some insane demi-deity from 10,000 years ago. You know what, let's just not screw around here. It's like Chai Guy! Chai Guy is secretly a 7 trillion year old... something, God, I don't know. What the hell, Azris? Why would they do that? It's so strange. Chai Guy 6. Thank you very much, Chai Guy. Much appreciate the sub, sir. And I have put that towards Soden. I always decide kind of on the fly, Potato. It's like, in other words, there's no hard-lined rule for it. Like, I've shown off 4X games, I've shown off strategy games, management sims. Basically, several games that don't have an end point. For the development of humanity, for our dreams. To you, whom I had not foreseen, I will give a hint, so that you may dream the same dream as us. He's heading for a sea stretching out from Lily Cove. Looking around in seaside towns might work. I don't know what you could do to get there, even if I knew I wouldn't tell. We're so weird. Anyways. Yeah, Tropico 6 is another good example of a game that didn't really have an end, which was also a very disappointing game, but that's neither here nor there. Point being, I decide with the specific game in mind. I don't decide in advance, if that makes any sense. Tropico 6 had promise, but in my opinion, it's going to need either a lot of patching or an expansion to really be good. I wouldn't recommend it in its current state. That's pretty much my nutshell opinion on that one. I've always liked the idea that in World, it's as opposed to, for example, any Pokemon that can learn Earthquake needing a license, because at that point a Doug Trio would need a license, for God's sakes. Instead, it's something like the higher tier Pokemon. You know, the ones with very high stats. So, starter Pokemon, meta legendaries or fake legendaries or whatever they're called. You know, like Tyranitar. Yeah, Garchomp being another good example. In fact, I actually think several of our current Pokemon would qualify. No, I'm wrong. Just the Flygon and these two. These two would probably need a license, for example. Oh, you can't see them. The Blaziken and the Flygon would probably need a license. Onix? See, there are several big Pokemon which aren't necessarily dangerous. I mean, I don't think a Snorlax would need a license, even though a Snorlax is actually an extremely strong Pokemon in meta. Nah, I've seen that one. Oh, got an attack. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Now, Steelix, that's true. See, the thing is, I've always thought of Onixes as being... How do I phrase this? Kind of like a blue whale, to use a parallel. It's big, and it does have a lot of power going behind it, but it's a relatively docile creature. Now, a Steelix... Wailord. Well, Wailord isn't actually all that big, which is just bizarre when you think about it. Actually, that's a nice idea. Maybe we should have things like tiers of licenses. Which I was just trying to think of a real-life equivalent, and I just failed at it. Because... like, even in real life, there's only like 4 tiers of driving licenses, for example. At least here in the States. And I would want more than 4 types, you know? Well, like, my point is, so, here in the States, I don't know... Oh, I need to go for the 6th? Really? I don't need to go for... Like, they just said, oh my god, you need to find us. Okay, whatever. I believe you, Max Time. I believe you. I would not guess that on my own, I'll admit it. So, in real life, here in the States, there's a motorcycle license, there's a standard driver's license, there's a trucker's license, and there's a racing license, and this is it. These 4 are it when it comes to real life here in the States. Water poison, what could it be? Yeah, no, we're done here. Hey, Nova Knight. Hello, Neptune Satomi. I can make it! Okay, no, oh, jeez, okay. Favorite legendary? It'd be harder to list my favorite 3, because the third one is when I have to think about it. Interesting, Hazardous. That's why I had to clarify in the States, because I know it's different elsewhere. Am I approaching this from the wrong angle? Do I need to leave from up here in Lily Cove? Just getting a feeling, mostly because it's physically impossible for me to progress here. is a nice way of being like, you're going the wrong way, dumbass. Anyways, what the hell was it? Oh yeah, so favorite 3 legendaries. So what are your guys' favorite 3 legendaries? Now the reason I say 3 is because Mew is my favorite, and Mewtwo is my second favorite. And those are just such duhs for me that I don't even have to think about it. Ooh, Chop. I don't have anything else going, do I? Double check. Nope, Steam's closed. That's closed. Yeah, whatever. Rayquaza. Which is, funnily enough, is spelled pretty much how it's pronounced, although I'm not sure that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. As I've mentioned before, I'm actually not a big fan of legendaries in general. There's a few I like, but only a few. That's a Pelipper. I don't care about a Pelipper. You see, I'm the opposite, Baron. In fact, let me pull up a list of legendaries, just to see which ones I actually like here. Give me a second. Yeah. Of course, apparently there's a difference between legendary and mythical now. I noticed that's a thing. So Mew is no longer a legendary. Mew is now a mythical. So I actually can't say that Mew is one of my favorite legendaries, because she's not a legendary anymore. So let's see, we've got Mewtwo's cool, Zapdos I like. I don't care for the 3 dogs at all, or the tower duo. The Reggies can go to hell. Reggie himself is awesome, but I don't care for the Reggies. The duo, eh. The Weather Trio, eh. The Lake Guardians, I mean, they're cute. The Creation Trio, eh. I don't even know what that is. Mew will always be a she to me, Huthor. Because she's so cute! Swords of Justice, eh. Forces of Nature, eh. Tau Trio, eh. Aura Trio? I don't know that much about them, but I'm still eh on them. Then we have Null and Silvally, eh. Guardian Deities, eh. Okay, Cosmog is actually pretty cool. So, I like Cosmog. So that means, of the legendaries, I like Cosmog, Zapdos, and Mewtwo. Now, of the mythicals, Mew is, of course, the best. She's so cute. Mew, Mew, Mew. Let's see here. Deoxys is actually pretty cool. I'll give him that. Let's see, what else we got here? I actually like Victini, and not just because I actually had him in Gen 5. Miloetta's kind of cool, too. And I think that's actually it. Yep, that's it. Why would anyone like Lugia? He's so gross and dumb. I don't care for Lugia, no. I don't have anything against him. I just, whatever. Ah, got it. I can dive for stuff for this guy. I think Lugia was ruined for me by... Hang on. Let me find it. One of his sprites was just kind of a... sort of a thing. Give me a second. I'm actually looking up his sprites here. Yeah, I'm thinking it was its gold sprite, which just kind of looked to me. Its ruby and emerald sprite is even worse. Oh no, and its fire red sprite is pretty bad too. Anyways. Why would you watch Whalmers? That's so strange. Like, to this... So within a category, or like every specific Pokemon requires licensing, Alex? Like, in other words, you would have a Crobat license. Or a Pidgeotto, or Pidgeot license. You know, something like that. Because that sounds a little excessive, but at the same time, in a world so dominated by Pokemon, I could see there being enough infrastructure to justify that. Like, I'm not sure there is much in real life that is the equivalent of what Pokemon are in this world. Seriously. Like, maybe the internet. Oh, yeah, imagine trying to get all the licenses, Nova Knight. Oh my goodness. Although, if we're being realistic, in real life, which is a horrible place, by the way, it'd be entirely likely.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
For someone to... Basically, if you had to get a fee per specific Pokemon... I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Basically, you'd see a disparity between the rich and the poor directly demonstrated in the Pokemon you have access to. Because the rich could afford the training and the fees for all the licenses for not only, you know, more Pokemon, but the good Pokemon. Whereas, you know, you or me could maybe get the license for like one Pokemon or two, and the training for one or two. So first of all, thank you very, very much, Kira White Noise. Much obliged as always. Second of all, I don't remember what that is. That on the website? Like, if it's on the site, I've already vetted it, which is why I tend to ask that question rather than anything else. Double check my own site here. Oh, yep, it's there. Okay. If it's on the site, then it's vetted. White Noise. Towards Albion. So noted. Thank you again. I mean, I'm pretty sure... Lol, Sonic Doctor. I'm pretty sure that the guy with the Lugia won't really have much issues defeating the 3,000 Rattatas coming after him. One shot, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. And of course, because of how Pokemon works, the Lugia would always go first. Unless they start doing Quick Attack. But no, I prefer the idea of, like, categories. Basically, the tier list of the meta, like, each of those would probably be a category. Just straight up, just like that. So how many tiers are we up to nowadays in Pokemon Competitive? I would imagine legendaries wouldn't really get a license, because I imagine there wouldn't be a license for legendaries. Like, no, I do not, Uthor. Although, in fairness, I've only seen like 1.5 of them. But, like, the idea here is, there's one Lugia, right? We'll just keep using Lugia as an example. If Lugia existed, it's either wild and free, or under national control. Like, it's been nationalized, right? It is the Chinese, or the, I don't know, the Kigali Pokemon, right? The anime is not canon, actually, to the games. The anime is only canon to the anime. There are 3 distinct canonicities when it comes to Pokemon. Games, anime, manga. Now, the movies and the show are canon from within each other, from what I understand. So, why do you ask? I mean, I know you don't care. Ah, the anime has multiple Lugias. Okay. That's strange, but okay. The manga is probably the best written, but I can't quite recommend it, like, to everyone. Because the manga is really dark. Like, holy crap. We're getting more chopped today than usual. What makes the manga so dark? Nope. You can look it up yourself. We ain't talking about that. I mean, I have seen darker works. Don't mistake me. But... well... okay. I mean, absolutely no offense to anybody who likes the anime... the Pokemon manga. But for me, it's kind of like trying to see a really dark, gritty take on Winnie the Pooh. Like... at its core level, it doesn't fit for me. And that bothers me, you know? It's like, right out the gate, it's like, okay, I want to do a gritty 90s reboot of Winnie the Pooh. No! You know, if I see a really dark story in Warhammer 40k, it's like, yeah, okay. Sure. Yep, children murder each other so they can feast on the dead. Okay, yep, that's Warhammer 40k. That's a real thing, by the way, I didn't just make that up. If I saw that in Pokemon, I'd be like, wah! Why? Why? And that's my problem with the manga. Right there. I know, Plutonia. They're supposed to be canon, too, which is just... oop, I'm going the wrong way. You know what's funny? As anybody who knows me knows I'm pretty, as weird as this may sound, I'm pretty anti-Pokedex entry. And I have been that way for a long time. Basically since the beginning, actually. Because I have distinct memories of picking up Pokemon... Gen 2, actually, was the first one I played, and reading the Pokedex entries and being like, that can't be right. And I think I got about halfway through Gen 2 before I started just mentally ejecting the Pokedex entries as nonsense. And I've never changed my opinion on that one. Nope, yep, I'm right. Sorry, just making sure. I'm having a weird lag today. What the hell? Well, I mean, there's several possible explanations for why it's nonsense. To my knowledge, there is no single canon explanation for why Pokédex entries are nonsense. The most common arguments I tend to hear are that Professor Oak is high, it's meant for kids, or it's written by kids. Those are the three... Did I say two? Those are the three most common explanations I tend to hear. Yeah, Dorkly, which is a YouTube channel, has an entire series of videos about what if Pokédex entries were literal, and they're all pretty horrible. Because of course they are. It's like Scyaldeer. Wait. I take that back. Hi, Scyaldeer. And thank you very, very much for the sub, as always. Although I feel like you subbed recently. But I'm still grateful. I feel like you subbed very recently, because we talked about what you haven't put it towards recently. Like, we had a conversation about that. Yeah, there it is, and you put it towards Last of Us. That was like yesterday. Well, thank you for the second sub. Oh god, he's dead. Time for my backup. The Last of Us 2, specifically Renegade. I've already played The Last of Us 1. Like, there are many ridiculous... I'm an idiot. There are many, many ridiculous Pokédex entries. My personal favorite will always be Mag Cargo, or whatever its name is. Oh, you know the one. 10,000 degrees. Fahrenheit. What? Just... what? By the way, if you asked me which of the three theories I subscribe to, I subscribe to the it's written for kids, folklore kind of a thing. Which has been my theory for a while, actually, if you remember. In short, it's not literal or anything. It's just, you know, dumb. And then Huthor jumps in. It's not dumb! And he's allowed that opinion. Well, that is a theory, Potato. But, I mean, I will admit that the folklore idea is what I've always really thought it is, but it being written by kids probably makes the most sense. I mean, just reading the entries. Oh, yeah, it's like 10,000 degrees! And, oh, it's totally, like, it can fly around the world in, like, 10 seconds. It's super cool. Like, doesn't that just sound like the imagination of a child? I don't mean that as a bad thing. I just... you know? Also, which Pokemon team leader is the most evil? Getsy's. Like, that, to me, that's not even a debatable. Yeah, it's been weird, isn't it, Saldir? Plenty of people have put it towards Unity, but no one's put anything towards Syndicate. A 1,000 punches in 2 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. So wait, is that actually a second sub, Saldir? Even though you subbed yesterday? Now I'm confused. I mean, I'll do it anyways, because you've been a supporter for a while, and you're awesome. I'm still confused. I mean, the obvious answer to that, Baron, is the little Pokedex entries in lore are literally, and here's what the kids have to say about it. Like, the idea is basically everyone knows that it's nonsense, and that everyone knows that that's just written by kids. Like, they look at the rest of the stats like, okay, those are the actual facts, and then there's a little entry that says, you know, nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Here, let's pull up a random Pokedex entry here. I mean, that's not as nonsense as it could be.
Of course you follow me. They all do.
Unlike Vigilant, which is total nonsense. Yeah, but how did you sub twice then, Saldir? Like, that actually doesn't make sense. If coughing becomes agitated, it raises the toxicity of its internal gases and jets them out all over its body. This Pokemon may also overinflate and then explode. Oh, here we go. This is a perfect nonsense one. Spoink bounces around on its tail. The shock of its bouncing makes its heart pump. As a result, this Pokemon cannot afford to stop bouncing. If it stops, its heart will stop. That's not too bad. To make prey faint, Vibrava generates ultrasonic waves by vigorously making its 2 wings vibrate. This Pokemon's ultrasonic waves are so powerful they can bring on headaches in people. Anyways. So first of all, thank you very much, Vigilant. As ever and as always. Vigilant. Ugh. No, hang on. See, the problem is I'm not making my point properly. So let's try this again. And I quote the Pokedex entry. It happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in bed, turned into a Kadabra. Or how about, it remembers every dream it eats. It rarely eats the dream of adults because children's are much tastier. Or how about, each of these carries a mask that used to be its face when it was human. Sometimes they look at it and cry. Let's see, we've also got, it is whispered that any child who mistakes Drifloon for a balloon and holds onto it could wind up missing. And these Pokemons are called signposts for wandering spirits. Children holding them sometimes vanish. Let's see, we've also got... Hang on. A lot of these are ghost types. Oh, this is a fun one. When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing and then turns into a cocoon once more. Give me a sec, Gum Gum. Actually, Honedge is on this list. If anyone dares to grab its hilt, it wraps a blue cloth around that person's arms and drains their life energy completely. So that someone already mentioned Entei earlier. There's the Magcargo one. Oh, excuse me, 18,000 degrees. God, I was worse. How about Grimer? Sludge that was exposed to X-rays from the moon transformed into Grimer. X-rays from the moon that turned a pile of sludge into a Pokemon. How about Larvitar? After it has eaten a large mountain, it will fall asleep. Or Tyranitar. If it rampages, it knocks down mountains and buries rivers. Maps must then be redrawn afterwards. Yeah, no, I think I've made my point. You forced me to stop playing the game just to make my point. It's nonsense. Like, not all of them are as nonsensical. Not all of them are horrible. It's just nonsense. Now, I want to point out something that's actually extremely cool. Look at the screen. That is actually really cool. Why don't future Pokedexes do this? Like, that is a cool, immediate, visual way of showcasing which Pokemon you've seen and which Pokemon you've caught. In order, too, if you're looking at the list. That is really cool. I can't even remember another Pokemon game that's done this kind of a Pokedex visual aid thing. That's awesome. Anyway, so Vigilant had a comment with his donation, as he always does. Let's see. No, that's fine, but I am personally banning the Epic Store, so I'd do the PS4 version of Vigilant. But as long as it's on something other than Epic, I'm down with it. I mean, that's on you, Alex. If you like that, no judgment. I can't even process that kind of a thing, personally. Like, for me, if fiction doesn't make sense, then I just don't look at it. I just walk away from it, you know? Like, yeah, okay. And? In this world, butterflies are secretly made of cotton candy that explodes into... Okay, yep. And I'm out right about that moment. Can't deal with it. Okay, so now let's see what the heck Gum Gum said earlier. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Okay, so first thing, Gum Gum, you don't have to start every single sentence with, I know you hate Kyria and you're evil and awful, but I also like talking about the setting I built. Of course you like talking about the setting I built. Everyone does that. Except for Huthor. Heath hates talking about settings because he's a weirdo. Why rum? Also, I love the idea that they hate slaves, not slavers. That's just so wonderfully wrong. Okay, that makes sense, Saldir. We at last have reached sense make. Hi, Bobby Budnick. What's up? Yeah, exactly, Hazardous. The example I like to use in real life is, you can breathe through your elbow. And it's like, no, I can't. Like, that's not even a... Well, if you work really hard at it, no, you can't breathe through your elbow. Everything in the world prevents you from breathing through your elbow. And so if you say that, my brain just goes, nope. No, you can't. And if you force me to actually think about it, then I start processing exactly how much you cannot breathe through your elbow. Like, I get Alex's point, and I'm pretty sure it's also Huthor's point. It's just, I'm trying to showcase my side of that debate. Yeah, there's X-rays from the moon that turn slime into Pokemon. Yeah, okay. Bzz. That's nice. Oh my god, really? I've hurt myself more from confusion than anything else. This is my shocked face, Uthor. But from my understanding of your incredible insanity, usually you like things because they have a point. So what's the point of the nonsense Pokedex entries? For you, I mean. I'm gonna run out of crunch before I kill this guy. You know what? This is dumb. I've stopped caring. You may fire when ready. Or be confused. God, I hate confusion so much. Yeah, that was one of the options we mentioned earlier, Venters. And now Max Time's gonna hurt himself in the confusion. Oh my god, he didn't! Actually in shock. I hate confusion. And that's why that's the nuclear option. With a massive type disadvantage, using the exactly wrong moveset, I still defeated him. Whoops. Whatever. I mean, just to have fun, Bobby. Or to capture Pokemon, or to beat the game. And it is an RPG. It's an RPG where you don't specifically play your party, but it is still an RPG. I expect pictures, Siler. I'm kidding, but I'm glad it showed up. And I'm glad it was able to pay for it. God, it was $80. Frickin' euros. Okay. I suppose whether or not you feel Pokemon needs to be nonsensical depends on how cynical you are. No, I mean that sincerely. If you don't think a world can be this idyllic and positive without nonsense and confetti magic explaining it, then it would make sense why you would lean in that direction to me. Screw it, whatever. I don't even remember what he's sending out now. Oh, it's him. I mean, do you see where I'm coming from on that? And I don't mean that in any kind of way as an insult. Like, I could see why someone who thinks, yeah, no, humankind can never be this good without confetti. Then, yeah. I mean, if you ask 10 people why the real world is horrible, you will get 10 different answers, Uthor, so I'm not even going to touch on that one. Dang it. Oh my god, the price! It does look cool, though. Not as cool as I was hoping, but still cool. Jesus Christ, really? Just, really? Fine, die. No, I don't, Hazardous. Like, I don't know what you're talking about at this point. No, Salder, but I can't think of a good road for it, so it doesn't matter. Ooh, should we get Hyper Beam? No, that's a special move. What do you guys think? Should we give Flygon Hyper Beam? I guess I could get rid of Dragon Breath. Nah, I don't like Hyper Beam. I never have. Minimalistic, that's a good word. God, this team is being a pain. Or this gym is being a pain. Let's just do this really quick and see if this is going to work out a little bit better. Oh, so in short, Hazardous, you are agreeing with me, is what I'm hearing. You could have just said that, man. God. Getting all complicated. Here's a question for you. How many of you have seen Star Trek Voyager? Oh god, I can't think of the name of the episode. What is the name of that episode? Darkling. That's the episode. How many of you have seen Darkling? Season 3, episode 18. So you stopped watching it after episode 2, Dream Whisperer? That's not a joke, by the way, for those of you who don't remember Voyager. By the way, there's a lot of evidence that Rick Berman is the big pusher behind there being time travel as a thing in Star Trek. Oh, don't misunderstand. The original series did time travel too. Like 3 times. And then TNG did it a few times, and Rick Berman was like, oh, it's awesome, we should do it again. And Voyager has more time travel episodes. And then Enterprise has even more time travel episodes. Yeah, it's a trend. Me be thinkins. Right when I was taking a drink, my goodness. I don't want to spoil Discovery, it's still a relatively new show. So I will not answer that question. Oh, thank you very much, Bobby Budnick. Bobby Budnick. I can talk! Much appreciate the sub. Thank you. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can, in fact, put that towards funding a future stream if you'd like to show interest in that. So you can do that, and it'll be awesome. In the episode The Darkling, there's this bit where evil doctor... It's the episode where the doctor goes evil, by the way. I know there's technically 2 of them, but the other one doesn't count. Because it wasn't the doctor. And there's this wonderful bit where the doctor has this whole discussion with Kess about how evil is the correct method for life. And then Kess just absolutely destroys him with actual logic by basically arguing that cooperation is mandatory for complex existence. It's actually kind of a bad episode, but that one speech has stuck with me ever since I watched that for the Rumination, which was years ago at this point. Because it was actually a surprisingly well thought out speech. So, 2 gym leaders. This should be fun. We don't need to talk because we can each tell what the other is thinking. Bananas! Okay. Only very briefly, Alex. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I was thinking that too, Final Harmony. Although I wouldn't recognize it if I saw it, admittedly. So I'm starting to run behind on levels a little bit here. So we'll see how well we do here. Good morning, Shadow Machine. You managed to basically tie a Starmie earlier until I had to bring in another Pokemon. Because it was like, crunch, zzz, heal to full, zzz, crunch, zzz, heal to full, zzz, confused. God damn it. Why? Sure, Hazardous, what do you got? Actually, have you seen the picture about that one, Hazardous? No, Shadow Machine. Sadness. Bragon will not get Crunch. Ah, Max Time will, however, be getting Brave Bird. Yep. I mean, I've seen a few, but my favorite is it's like World War I. Circa whatever in a timeline where video games were never invented, and it's just people dancing around and playing and be like, the Normandy invasion in a world where video games were never invented, and it's just some people in inner tubes, you know. Yay, we can use Dive. I mean, those are actually pretty rough Pokemon. It's just I have 3 Pokemon that are good against them, Dream Whisperer, so I kind of had the type advantage there. Well, in fairness, this is technically the game right after Crystal, so you're not completely off, Final Harmony. Oh my gosh, Entei just walked by and barked. No, let's be real for a second. The actual let's just put down the game for a second, okay? Let's talk for a moment. I've come up with my own headcanons. You know, Alex was mentioning the perspective thing earlier. Each of us have our own little headcanons of Pokemon. But if we're to really, truly acknowledge the truth about Pokemon, the truth is that they don't care. The attitude going into Pokemon is very clearly, just don't think about it. And that's the truth. That's canon. Just don't think about it. Now, I can't accept that, because being told to not think about it is basically an insult to me, whether it's intended as one or not. If I have to completely shut off my brain to enjoy something, then I don't think that's a good thing. Now, that is just my opinion. That's not a hardcore fact. But that's why I tend to take quite a bit of effort and time in order to try and reprocess or reprogram certain works of fiction so that I can enjoy them by basically forcing them to make sense in the absence of the creator's own efforts to make them make sense. In short, I don't just headcanon because of Ultragorth, although he is one of my biggest headcanon supporters. But I headcanon because I kind of can't enjoy certain things without doing so. You know? And that's just the way I am. That's just the way I function. Shrug. Thank you very, very much, Ultragorth. Much obliged the sub as always, sir. Now, if you'd like to put that towards something, if there's something that catches your interest to put that towards for a future stream, let me know, and I will jot it down. Well, because obviously Blaziken's a bird, Uthor. A pillar of light from the sea. Route 128. Oh my gosh. It's the end of the world. Poor Skitty, no! Probably not. Come. If only I could dive right there. In the dive spot. Steven, give me the cannon thing. Or the cannon thing. The HM thing. Quick. We should talk. Let's come to my place, jazz music. But yeah, anyways, Huthor, to answer your question more in full. This is your home? I notice there's lots of stones on display, because of course there are. Whenever I do a gym challenge, it's always slightly more thematic than literal. Because that's what the games themselves do. Like, there are several cases where a gym that is dragon, for example, will have Pokemon that are not dragon. Oh my god, a seal has been undone. The super ancient. They keep calling it super ancient. Pokemon that has been sealed beneath Route 128 since ancient times. It has slept in the C4 cavern. The entrance to that cavern was sealed by the power of a certain Pokemon in an effort to keep any human or Pokemon from ever breaching it. But now that scheming of that terrible team has undone the seal. There's no doubt they intend to revive the super ancient Pokemon. You can just call it Groudon. We know what it is. It's on the cover of the game. Literally on the box art. If that team obtains the power of Groudon, it'll upset the damp balance of nature in this world. A crisis unlike any other will befall every living being on the entire planet. You are the chosen one. Here's Dive. Well, it's like delegates. You know, there's delegates and then there's super delegates. Yeah, I feel like this might be where I got lost in the original game. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it was after the Groudon thing. All I remember is it was when I was in the Eastern Islands thing, like I am right now. Whoops, wrong one. I mean, that does make sense, Omega Legion. I've always thought of whiting out as a pure gameplay element, not a story element. There are interviews that are of questionable validity from when they were designing the original Pokemon, that the whole idea of whiting out was, well, you can't have the player die, this is a kid's game. But you have to show some kind of consequence for losing your team. And so whiting, actually it was blacking out originally, and then later became whiting out, but whiting out was the compromise they came up with. You just go back to the last Poké Center. Which makes sense, admittedly. I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? Excuse me. No! Damn it. That's actually true, Takata, funnily enough. Oh yeah, you also lose money. Just like Grand Theft Auto. Holy crap, guys, Pokemon has always been Grand Theft Auto. That's true, Alex. That's actually an interesting point. So, I know the anime is different, I know the manga is different. But in the games, not many of the legendaries demonstrate the powers they supposedly have. I'm actually deliberately fighting because I'm a little underleveled next time. Just a little. And I can just sweep these, so. Like, Lugia controls storms or whatever, right? And yet that's never in the game. Or no, I guess that would be the Weather Trio controls storm, which is still also not in the game. That's another interesting one. Dialga is supposed to control time, or space, I forget which one. And the other one controls time, or space. They never demonstrate that. Now, Giratina might actually demonstrate its abilities, but it never gets a chance to, so, again. You know what? No. Alex, you got this. Prove that you are the superior one. Test your might. It's funny, we were talking earlier about Gen 3 was the first Pokemon to actually have a plot, really. And it's a plot about the legendaries. And I have a feeling that was the trendsetter, if you know what I mean. I didn't even see it, Saldir. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. Aha! Pokemon are not aggressive, they attack to prove your... So the idea, as explained many times in the games, is that random Pokemon in the wild, if they rush up, they're basically trying to show off to you. Like, they want to show how cool or awesome or neat they are to gain your attention so that you will, you know, capture them and they will join your team. The general idea is, as much as everyone likes to joke about the whole, oh my god, animal enslavement thing, which is why I'm so sick of it and stab people for that joke at this point in my life, the actual intent is that it's all about partnership. That your Pokemon teams are your friends, or your allies, or people who are actually with you, you know? Rather than enslaved minions. I mean, this is actually demonstrated in many aspects of several of the games, where the people who misuse or abuse Pokemon are the bad guys. How even those who battle are doing so with, you know, with intent to take care of their Pokemon and blah, 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 blah. So I hope that answers you, Saldir, because if it doesn't, then I have failed. I actually like that idea, too, Dream Whisperer. I remember PETA doing that, too. Now, this is going to sound contrarian of me, but I do have to admit that PETA being against this game, these games, I should say, made me more inclined to like them. Hashtag screw PETA. No, I don't think I can, Salder. Legitimately. As I said earlier, I don't think Dark and Horrible belongs in this. Dark? Sure. I can accept Dark, but not... Yeah, death and horribleness. I feel like I talk about this topic a lot. It comes up in Star Trek, too. I don't mind dark storytelling in Star Trek. What I mind is horribleness. I mean, I like Deep Space Nine. Of course I like dark storytelling in Star Trek. Looks like it's time to officially replace a move on Blaziken. Oh, I know, Max 10. It's totally a coincidence, Jonathan. That's why we have flying right here in big letters. Yep, nope. What to lose for strength? I don't want to lose anything. Strength is a garbage move that I have to get because HMs are dumb. I have to get rid of one of the fire moves. So I'll probably get rid of this one. No, I feel you, Jonatrino. Hope your day goes better soon. We all need good days in our lives. If I could talk about that topic really briefly, though, the whole dark storytelling thing. Like, thank you, Jonatrino. Obviously, everyone's going to differ on what the word dark means, which I think is one of the biggest problems that we have. But for me, I think the biggest problem, really, is that some people like to do all-or-nothing mentality. In short, some people think you must have all stories, period, or no stories, period, rather than precisely and carefully thinking about which elements will fit for your specific franchise. You know what I mean? A story about, to use a direct example, the Federation having to very carefully think about how it's going to manage its internecine policy because they are being challenged in a way that is trying to tear the Federation apart from the inside, that is a dark story. But that never crosses any lines, and that fits in Star Trek, in my opinion, especially since it cuts to the core of what Star Trek tends to be about, which is, you know, trying to make differing perspectives fit within a singular whole, right? See you around Final Harmony. Having a Star Trek story about the Reapers from Firefly does not fit, in my opinion. Ignoring the fact that it's just copy-pasted. And I don't even feel like I need to explain why, you know? No, I did not, Alex. Yeah, go ahead, Azrus. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, Gum Gum. Tariffs aren't about making money. I've talked about this before. Tariffs are about a political statement and trying to adjust economies. So, to use the earlier example, like a Warhammer 40k thing, Hazardous? I agree, Plutonia. As it happens. So to, once again, reiterate the point, if Reapers suddenly showed up, or excuse me, Reavers suddenly showed up in Star Trek, that would be unacceptable because it's Star Trek. Star Trek is very clearly not advertised as such a work. I mean, I don't... Recently I covered the episode Chain of Command. Hey, oh my... See, I know that's supposed to be oh my god, but I'm trying to think of how you want it pronounced. Either way, I'm glad you like the Chronicle stuff. But in Chain of Command, for those of you who haven't seen those episodes recently, there are some legitimately very dark scenes in Part 2. Like, they didn't hold back in several ways. Now, obviously, by the standards of modern society, that's positively tame. You know, Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad and all that have just completely overwhelmed those sensibilities. But the point was, it was so shocking to basically come out of nowhere in a Star Trek episode that people were like, whoa! Remember, Star Trek, especially this is early 90s at this point, was being watched by children on a regular basis. And so people complained about that, and frankly, rightly so. Now, that being said, there's a nice in-between answer here. That in-between answer is there should have just been a disclaimer right at the beginning. This episode has disturbing visual imagery. The end. That's all you needed. That would have been a nice, clear indicator of, yeah, no. But I point that out to point out... I mean, I suppose you could make fun if you wanted to, but the idea is that even something as relatively tame as Chain of Command Part 2 was something that upset quite a few people due to its graphic nature. Probably helped in a great deal by Patrick Stewart's amazing acting. He threw himself into acting exactly like a horribly tortured person would. And as a consequence, sold the idea that he was being horribly tortured, even if we didn't actually see a lot of the actual torture. And yeah, I'm actually with Gum Gum on this, for once. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's possible to be dark without being... without going over the line, to put it simply. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Hazardous. I mean, PewDiePie was pretty popular, too. Listen, Alex. Magic, magic, confetti. I don't know, dude. That doesn't even surprise me, Hazardous. So I don't like to use the word mature, Lord Harrowmont, because it's been misused quite a bit in real life. So if I can elaborate on that briefly. In my experience, there's one of two things that someone means when they mean mature storytelling. The first is mature storytelling, handling very real and serious concepts, the nature of political disagreements, or how to find compromise when it comes to interacting with people who are different than you, dealing with issues like raising a child and not being certain exactly how to, you know, that kind of a thing, right? Challenging your own sense of morals and ethics, trying to be faced with a difficult decision. These are things that I would consider mature storytelling. Then there's mature storytelling, which Takoida just accurately described, which is basically gore, sex, and cussing. In short, if I was to describe that using my own terminology, I would say the former is a mature storytelling, and the latter is juvenile storytelling. So a while ago, and I mean like, God, like in the early aughts, I started calling mature dark instead to try and, you know, get across the point differently. But they've kind of started doing the same thing with the word dark. Is it a dark story? Well, it's got lots of cussing. And it's got people who gorily butcher each other. So it's a very dark story. But that's not dark. That's just gory. Yeah, edgy is a very common thing that dark tends to mean. I agree with that. So I don't actually have another good word anymore to start using. I honestly probably should make the effort to come up with a new word for what I consider mature storytelling. I'm actually with you on that, Saldir, in both cases. And yeah, I think modern television has in many ways been shaped, okay, apparently there's something in the way, by Game of Thrones. And I mean that sincerely. It has changed the way television shows are funded. It's changed the way the television shows are marketed. It's changed the way people try to use, again, the dark, edgy thing as a way to as an attention grabbing. And it also has changed the way people think of string continuity. Whether any of that's good or bad is up to you, but I do think it has had a very large impact on the entire industry. You say that, Hazardous. I predict, legitimately, that we will still be seeing the influences of Game of Thrones on television for probably about, I'd say, 7 years. 7 or 8 years. screw it. Well, I'm admittedly more concerned with the behind-the-scenes influence myself, Plutonia. Hello again, Baron. The Witcher series on Netflix? I'll admit I have no personal interest. Like, I'm not exactly a Witcher fan, so I'm just like, whatever. And I don't even have a Netflix subscription right now. It'll be interesting to see what they do with it, and if it's any good. I went too far, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Reset! I love having to use strength every time I leave or enter a room. It's an awesome feature. It makes sure that I am as bored as possible when I'm doing these kind of puzzles. I mean, one that I don't hear people talk about a lot is The Wire, which I find amusing because The Wire was actually an extremely popular show here in the States for a pretty brief period of time, actually. And then it got completely supplanted by Breaking Bad, I think. Pretty sure that's the order. It was Wire, then Breaking Bad, then Game of Thrones, I think. And then Chernobyl is the latest one. Okay, it has to be that way. Yeah, alright. I was right originally. Don't worry, Groudon will never get lonely because there's an infinite amount of Golbats down here. Ah, God damn it. I swear I have a brain somewhere in this head. It's just not really here right now. I was actually thinking about that recently. Seriously. So I've talked before about having analysis mode, right? And, you know, turning my brain on for analysis mode. What I've never really mentioned is that's actually my normal default state of brain. But what I do is I tend to turn my brain off most of the rest of the time as a deliberate, let's call it a defense mechanism, because the world is horrible. So... I know what you're thinking. Why are you saying that now? My brain's pretty off right now, I'll admit it. Although I should probably kind of get my brain back going again here, because pretty soon here, we're going to give some story negatives, I imagine. And I have to be thinking for that. That's the other definition of a chill run, when my brain is actively turned off. Oh yeah, Zaloot. Probably. It is presumption at this point. Well, there's Groudon. And Archie. Apparently. You'll see, Baron. You'll see. Just as I predicted. Even I, the great Maxi, have found myself wishing for something I cannot justify. And the illogical desire I harbored was to have you present at this moment. And now the fool's wish has come true. Fantastic! Nothing could please me more. I suppose I should make introductions. Let me talk for 7 years while we discuss these matters. I present to you my incomparable partner who will assist Team Magma in driving humanity to the next level. Groudon. Behold! This great form slumbering in defiance. It's like 10 feet tall. It's so small. Anyways. Of even the broiling lava surrounding it. So long have I waited for this day. Hang on. If it can withstand lava, then shouldn't that mean, like, its defenses are through the roof? Like, think about what it takes to withstand lava for a second. What, you want me to stop thinking? Right, sorry. This foolish world has held back humanity's progress out of misguided idealism regarding the coexistence of humans and Pokemon. But this ancient creature can bring that to its rightful end, creating a new land upon which humanity may stride freely forward. Now that I have at last obtained the power of Primal Groudon. And now, you are the final obstacle between me and my goals. It behooves me to use every tool at my disposal to eliminate you. Indeed, even Mega Evolution! Do not delude yourself that you and your Pokemon are the only ones capable of it. I must apologize for making you wait through our encounters at Mount Chimney and Mount Pyre without treating you to this sight. Brace yourself for my ultimate attack. Only guy with a 3D model in combat so far. Well, that's not true. May has. So that's 2. Sorry. May and Archie are the only 2 with 3D models in combat. And now we're just fighting in magma. Yeah, lava's kind of hot. Slightly. We should probably be dead just being in the room. See, I'm not nitpicky about everything. Sure. Let's have fun. Wait, Wally had a 3D model? I don't remember. It's been so long since we beat him. Hello, Shikor. Goodbye. Oh, wow, it didn't kill him. Holy crap. Really? Well, I was going to be funny, but then that happened. And that just ruined all my plans. Hang on, I can't be funny anymore. Hang on. Lived with like 2 health. Oh no. Bink. I don't know, Dream Whisperer. What was metal sound? Nope. I mean, he does have good taste in Pokemon, so I'll give him that. Freaking crits. A lot of crits this time around. That is pretty impressive. It's not at Shuckle levels, but that's pretty high. I was actually just trying to think of other Pokemon that have really high defense rates. Base defense, I mean. Alright, Dakota, you got this. Actually, you know what? Bulbapedia has a list in order of stats, if I could find it. Just need to find it. Ah, here we go. List of Pokemon by base stats. That's exactly what I want. Defense. Just regular defense. So right at the top, there are 3 which are tied for the most defense in the game. Mega Steelix, Mega Aggron, and Shuckle. Immediately below that are regular Steelix and Regirock. Then Avalugg, I don't even know what that is, Mega Slowbro, Cloyster, Aggron, Bastidion, Onix, and then Groudon. Hello, Mother Musette. What the hell? Yeah, I don't know Gen 6 well at all, so that's probably why I don't know it. One shot by Brigwin. Still love that defeat animation. You've shown a power that exceeds the great Maxi. Oh, hey! Yeah, if you hadn't gotten poisoned and then hit with a crit max time, I was going to be funny with the nuke, but whatever. Woo! Our team is finally complete, guys. Dragon Claw? Nah, that sounds like a terrible move. It's only better in every way than Dragon Breath. Booyaka. Okay, his last 5 lines of dialogue were all him laughing. Splendid, just splendid, my young trainer. No, it's more than that. I should be calling you my young hero. Believing until the very end that a world where humanity and Pokemon coexist must be the best. Rejecting my ideals without a second thought. Watching you struggle desperately to halt the beginnings of the world ends. You are undoubtedly a hero, so noble. And yet, I will not yield. I will not bend. My ideals will not be shaken. My dream for the world's next step forward will never change. Hang on. I could see, in a believable, yet not realistic, setting of Pokemon, where there would be people who would say that humanity would be better off without Pokemon. Like, I could see that being a political party platform kind of a thing, right? It's just... I'm not sure if any of those people would be sufficiently stupid to try to actually do what this guy is doing. That's not true. Team Plasma's goal was to take over the world. to get rid of everyone else's guns, so you're the only one with guns, was Team Plasma. Well, was Getsy's goal. So, Red Orb. Wait, Maxie. Hey, it's one of the more interesting characters in the game. Don't do that. Do stop that now, please. You just don't understand. What Groudon will bring about upon awakening is an end of the world. Do you think I had not noticed that I had somehow failed to realize you were after my spot? Such a sad development indeed, to be betrayed by my number 2. To that end, there can only be one being on which I can depend. Groudon, absorb the power resting in this red orb and reclaim yourself. Revert to your primal form. It's time to take back the great evolution you lost in ancient past. Reclaim the fucking... what? Archie's just sitting there saying nothing this whole time. Cutscene, probably. Okay, I know that we're in Pokemon and we shouldn't be trying to kill this guy, but can we at least knock the orb out of his hand? Hi, Groudon. You look dumb. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't look that dumb, but I've never cared for Groudon. Although Kyogre, however heck you're supposed to say it, has always looked worse for me. Like, I actively dislike the look of Kyogre. Kyogre? Okay, I can say that. All of a sudden, this is Final Fantasy IV. At last, I've finally done it. A new world for human evolution will be born. We shall stride forward. What have you done, boss? Ah, a message from our members outside. So the sun has turned mercilessly fierce in its heat. I should expect so. That's what we have long wished for. What? The heat is greater than simulations predicted. It'll be a risk to our own safety if it continues? This cannot be. It had only just awoken. Where is it getting so much power from? And how much more will it gain when it goes primal reversion? Continue your readings. Report back. What just happened on the surface? All that matters is I have used the red orb to awaken Groudon. Now I'll transform this planet to a land ideal for humanity. Hey, Maxie, looks like we underestimated the part of the super ancient Pokemon. Power of primal reversion. Primal Groudon brings out an end, but you don't get to choose what end. It's going to drive every living thing on this planet to its death. The only thing waiting for us is despair. A despair we can't even run from. A despair that's going to crush humanity. You fool. All it's happening because you were cocky enough to think you could control the super ancient Pokemon's power when only this 12-year-old can. So the information we received from the Weather Institute was true. Boss, we'll never get anywhere just standing around like this. There isn't a moment to spare. We must confirm the situation on the outside. Child, you're coming too! Yeah, okay. Like, imagine moving the Earth, you know, a few 100,000 miles, that's probably an exaggeration, closer to the sun, so the sun is much worse. Kind of like that. I wanted to make it was supposed to be a world where the human race would attain new heights, the next stage of our development. It was all for humanity's future. So this is the power of the super ancient Pokemon. This is how Groudon brings everything to an end. All of us, people in Pokemon, every living thing on this planet, everything's gonna die. Okay, little scamp. We're setting sail for Sitopolis. That blasted Groudon's no gonna get ahead of us. It'll be waiting for us in the Cave of Origin. There's a pool of energy that folks say is needed for primal reversion. There's no doubt in my mind Groudon will be racing to that cave, thirsting for that power. We have no choice to go there. Let's go. We're responsible for this mess, this ridiculous, impossible mess. It only makes sense for all of us to step up and clean up after ourselves. Agreed? Look, I'm supposed to be a grown-up, right? So let me say sorry for the way this has gone down. And I'm sorry because I got to ask you to pitch in on the cleanup. We need every hand on deck if we're going to do something about this mess. So I'll be waiting for you in Sutopolis. And then the world died. Oh, hey, Steven. Yeah, I like to think that Rayquaza's like... 5 more minutes, and then grabs the blankets and rolls back over under the covers. So this is what's being depicted in that cave. If this doesn't stop, the entire world will burn up. That's like the 4th time you've said that. I get it. Come on, think. What are we going to do? No point in agonizing. I have to go to Sutopolis. That's the 3rd time you told me to go to Sutopolis. Hey, you want to take me with you, Steven? No? No? Okay. Whatever. So where the hell is Sutopolis? I got several cities here. That's Evergrande. That's Victory Road. There's Sutopolis. West. Yeah, honestly, this should probably be one of those we're gonna die within minutes or hours situations. Aw, really? Okay, fine. Oh, thanks, Silder, thanks. I wasn't quite sure what you were talking about, but now I understand. Okay, credit where credit is due. I like that the overworld music is basically permanently changed. That's a nice touch. Meanwhile, Tentacle's like, oh god, it's so hot! Ah! Please take me into your party and get me away from this! That would also be cool, as weird as that may sound. Like, imagine if the sunny day effect was just non-stop during this brief period of the time. Like, obviously it's not, because that would take time and effort, but, you know, it'd be a cool idea. There's a gym here. I will, Baron, I will. Aha! The being on fire gym. What do you specialize in here? Ah! Okay. Do you, I mean, it is kind of funny, Saldir. It's just, you know, insane. No, it's constantly in the raining effect. So in the Sapphire version, what happens is it starts to rain constantly. Just rain and rain and rain. In other words, the idea is that bit by bit, the oceans are going to slowly raise. It's actually a slower death, technically, but a far more inescapable one in its own horrible way. What a terrible heat. It feels like the whole world will be burnt away. Ah, yes. You need to hear what my friend Wallace, who is definitely not the champion in this version. My name's Wallace. I'm the gym leader. I've also been entrusted with the protection of the Cave of Origin. The drought is being caused by the power emanating from the Cave of Origin. That is the blue orb. Basically, yes, Dream Whisperer. Follow me. Yeah, imagine living in Seattle all the time. That's what happens when Kyogre gets out. People in this Pokemon need sunlight to live, so why does sunlight fill us with so much dread? Because extremes, dumbass! You need air to live, but if you get too much oxygen in your veins, you will die! God, this is such a basic concept. It actually irritates me a little bit. If you drink too much water, you will literally... Just drink too much water, although it's almost physically impossible to do. You will literally drown. I know what must be done. It was the fruit of our collaboration with the Devon Corporation that represents the height of Hoenn's technological knowledge and skill. The Magma Suit. We'd actually been preparing that in anticipation of making contact with Groudon, but at this point it doesn't look like there's any hope for that for us. There's nothing we can do except leave it to you, a 12-year-old. How would I write this? Well, I mean, I kind of already have. This feels like LARPing. So the idea here is, first of all, let's tone it down a little bit. End of the world, bit too much. Second of all, let's make it a little bit more about the teams than about the primals. So in short, make it so that the teams have a legitimate and valid point in their own ways. Now, that's easy with Magma. Generating more land is an easy idea, and trying to make there be less Pokemon-human interaction is actually a pretty decent idea too. Team Aqua, unfortunately, has just a ridiculously stupid idea, so we might have to actually rewrite Team Aqua entirely. I'd have to think about that one to come up with something. Maybe, like, they want to be able to direct rain on a individual basis to help prevent the droughts from ever happening or something. I don't freaking know. We come up with something. Oh, I should have checked the news. Oh, whatever. This is the story of this game in a nutshell right here. Anyway, so like I said, you know, criticizing and critiquing. I don't like to criticize without critiquing. So bring the scale of this down a little bit. Make this a threat to the local island chain. Absolutely. But not necessarily a completely end-of-the-world stake. Now, that's just a personal preference thing, but that would be the first thing I'd do. Second thing, like I said, make both sides make more sense, as I've already discussed. Third thing... This is probably the dumbest idea I have, because it would remove the two game versions, but I like the idea that at the beginning, rather than buying Aqua, or buying... I'm sorry, this music's kind of bugging me. Rather than buying Aqua or buying Magma, you just buy, you know, Omega Alpha, or whatever the hell we call this, right? Gen 3. We buy the third Pokemon game. And at the beginning of the game, you can pick whether you want to kind of experience one plotline or the other. And the point is that it kind of changes the beginning-ish of the story and the end-ish of the story, or rather the second half of the story. But in both cases, the idea is to show both teams, so that whether you see Magma first or Aqua first, you're seeing the same general concept, which is that they are extremists. Like, the whole narrative point being that it is the extreme that makes them wrong. Not the ideals or concepts that they are pushing, just the fact that they want to push them way beyond reasonability. Or, I actually like Lord Haramont's idea. Make it so that their goals and ideas are substantially more sensible. It's just the methods by which they're doing are causing problems for some unrelated reason. Now, that being said, I don't like the "you cannot control this force you have unleashed" idea. Mostly because it's a little bit too overdone, in my opinion. But, you know, something in the lines of... Now you got me thinking. Yeah, unfortunately, I still haven't played Emerald, so I can't. I can only comment from what you guys are telling me on Emerald because I've never played it. Oh, anyways, let's see the news report here. In a news bulletin, the giant mass of incandescent heat that just appeared in the skies over Sutopolis City is currently spreading to surrounding areas, bringing with it an intense drought. We have a live report from a reporter on the scene. I'm here in Sutopolis City. It's hot. I've never heat like this. It's can't. Hello? We apologize, but we seem to have lost our live feed. It's very dangerous outside, so we'd like to remind all our viewers to please remain indoors. And drink lots of water. Akai Vurul Vailem. God, that sounds like a good idea, Shadow. Although it'll be the first time we do a gen twice, which we've been trying not to do. I also kind of like the idea... No, I have not, Omega Legion. I like the idea of... You guys know I'm pretty big on balance. That's a big point I like to push in real life as well as in fiction. So I like the idea that in both storylines, in the lore version of this game, the end point is you convince both teams to work together to kind of be more moderate in how they approach their ideas, and thus actually do help the region in the way that both want to do. You know? Is there a Poké Center anywhere near here? I don't know the layout of this town at all. Yeah, I don't mind the idea of an Emerald IDC, but let's put that way off. Like, we still have another Pokemon game to play, and 4 other potential Pokemon games to play before we get to that. Because we haven't played Gen 1 on camera, we haven't played Gen 5 on camera, and we haven't played the other Gen 5 on camera. So, yeah, let's hold off on that. I was actually thinking a similar thing. Kira White Noise. That's true, I did play Let's Go. I didn't actually think of that as Gen 1 for reasons that I shouldn't even have to explain. But that is a valid point. So you don't really need to play Fire Red or Leaf Green. We're definitely not doing Yellow. I guess we've never done a Gen 2 one, have we? Damn it. I just realized. So that's 4 Pokemon games. Well, I guess no. That's, if we're removing Gen 1 again, then we have to reassert that we still have 3 to play. Gen 5, and Gen 2. Probably the DS versions of all of the above. Yeah, Soul Silver, which is the specific copy I own. And then I believe I have Black 1, or no, White 1, Black 2, I think is what I have. Not sure on that one. Nope, I'm wrong. I pulled it out just in case. I actually have White 1 and Black 2. There we go, that's the order I got. What am I doing? I'm trying to remember how to get there. Gen 5 still has my favorite... God, well, you're right, we haven't played Gen 4 either. Have we? Hang on, give me a second. We have played Gen 1 with Let's Go. We've played Gen 3 with this one. I guess we haven't actually played Gen 4 on camera. So we haven't played Gen 4, we haven't played Gen 5, we haven't played Gen 5. We did play Gen 6 because we played X and Y. And we did play Sun and Moon. So so yeah, okay, God, we're up to 4 now. Pokemon games we haven't played on camera. Stop adding to the list. Oh, thank God the song stopped. Damn it, Wanta. Oh yeah, you want me to use a water move on it. I mean, I am using the terminology technically incorrectly. Because Gen 1 refers specifically to the Pokemon that were made within the first generation. I usually tend to think of it differently. I think of Gen 1 as all of the games that are remakes of, or the originals of, a specific thing. So for example, I consider this mentally a Gen 3 game, even though it's actually a Gen 6 game. Why am I fighting this? Go away, Golbats, God! I mean, that makes perfect sense, Kira White Noise. Like I said, the only reason I don't like that idea is because I don't want to lean on the "we can't control what we have unleashed" thread yet again. Okay, for old time's sake. Whoops. God, I know, Dakota. See you around, Sylder. Mawile is cool. Like, I like this Pokemon. And not just because it was our heavy in X and Y. Oh, right. Repels. Whoop. Wrong. 1, 2, 3. We'll be nice and say just 3. I do have repels, right? Where the heck are my repels? Oh, there. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So being nice, that's 9 button clicks to use a repel. And that's a problem I've also had with the Pokemon series for a while. It takes a few too many button presses to do several simple inventory management things in these games. I'm one of those really strange people who don't think they need to keep adding a ton of new Pokemon every generation. I know I'm in the minority, and I know that there are people who... It would be a huge hit to the popularity if they were to not introduce a bunch of new Pokemon. I get that. It's just... I don't agree. Magma Man. Probably not, honestly, Myron. The Pokemon series far better suits something like this. A chill run with review ratings. That is true, Lord Harriman. They did add the shortcut thing. It is I, the Great Maxi. A device built into the suit of Dawn allows me to talk to you. We have some readings. Groudon has appeared. Do not waste a single second. Leap upon its back. Then... Well, there's that radiation again. We are super dead. Yeah, I heard the same complaints about X and Y, and I really disagreed, especially after playing X and Y. X and Y was also one of the two games, I would say, that really tried to divest themselves from the formula, the other being Black and White 1. We'll see what they do with Sword and Shield. Thank you, Blow Up Alex. It is good to know that I am not complete garbage. Yeah, let's take off the magma suit. Roar. This isn't a Jurassic Park film, Shikor. I need defenses. The water-type attack evaporated in the harsh sunlight. So I guess that's what his specific thing does. Wow. Just... Actually, wrong hand. Just gets rid of the water. Yikes. Well, I guess I'll catch it then. This is going to take a while, though, because I've only got regular Pokeballs. Totally gonna get... Ah, it escaped. Darn. Alright, whatever. Hang on. It's okay. I've got one more Pokeball. We've got this, guys. Ah, it didn't work either. Damn. I was just gonna laugh if by absolute random chance that succeeded. And I wanted them out of my inventory. In fact, let's get all 5 of these out of my inventory. Get out of my inventory. Earthquake doesn't affect Bragwin. Yeah. 4 more. Yep, we're gonna do a 24-hour shiny stream. I love how it's not even pretending. Like, it's like, no. At this point, I'll be amazed if it does even a single... 3 more. It's not very effective. Why would I weaken Adventures? God, you're so weird. I mean, pirates are scum, Gum, so make of that what you will. I got this. Oh, 1 bip. We got 1 bip out of all of that. Alright. Well, I've emptied my inventory. Unless you think I should use... Hang on. One last one. Ah! I was hoping for at least one bib. That was a premier ball. Alright, enough is enough. Join me. Suffer me now. That would have been absolutely hilarious, Kira. Groudon is said to be the personification of the land itself. Legends tell of its clashes against Kyogre, as each sought to gain the power of nature. Sure, let's rename this. We will rename it to... Nah, I shouldn't do that. I was going to do something funny. Should I do something funny? Let's see if it fits, because I was really thinking about doing this. Let's see here. I don't think it's going to fit. Oh, hang on. If I do this, it'll fit. Hang on. There we go. Super Ancient has been transferred to the box. Barely fit, too. What, they kept calling it Super Ancient. And they're all dead. Why did it go away? Well, my new boss said I can't. I'm reminded there's a Dorkly comic about Giratina being controlled by a 10-year-old kid. And, yeah. I know what you're thinking, Gumno. You've also actually mentioned the Beaver War before. Yeah, the MCU was getting really popular at this point, so it makes sense. Hey, Wally. Still the best character in the game. Godly in a good way or godly in a bad way, Omega Legion? Even the Whalmers are like, we're happy. In a good way? Ooh. Probably the Weather Trio. Courtney's like, damn it! Humanity was saved! Now I must become the super optional boss. Because we had one team... So we had one team member who was stupid, and one team member who was smart, but the team member who was stupid became smart. So we need at least one team member who stays stupid to balance it out. And that's going to be Courtney. What do you want to bet? Well, we beat the game, guys. The sky has returned to normal. This is normal? Hey, look. Balance. It's okay, there's no justice or law system in the world, so you're fine, Maxie. There's no cops. There's no courts. And that's a good thing. So, instead, he just has to go atone for his sins. I mean, Officer Jenny isn't in the game, I'm just saying. Although... Hey, the red orb. There's actually a term for what I would call the officers in Pokemon, and I actually can't think of it. See, a cop is someone who goes after crooks, right? But then there's someone who's like a public servant who tries to, you know, regulate traffic or, you know, help look for things or whatever. Like it was actually a Roman concept in Rome, and it's kind of gone away in the more modern era. A peace officer? Could be. That's fair, Takota. Hey, we got the flute. But the idea is, it's literally a public servant, like a town watch or whatever. They're not there to catch crooks or to solve crimes or to shoot bad guys. They are there to help, to actually try to take care of things on a larger scale. They would later be kind of merged in with things like fire department, for example. This is taking too long. I'm sorry, this is not as cool of a scene as it probably should be. Comment hazardous. Yeah, the dialogue isn't great, and these people are just basically understanding the obvious. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This is me being generous. I'm gonna give only one story negative for all that. Because ultimately that was just a skip cutscene for me. That whole thing was just what? Yeah, I could easily stretch that out into multiple negatives. So I'm debating if I want to. Just hanging out my computer, Dream Whisperer. Probably blew off Alex. But I do think that was a negative to story, that I didn't enjoy any of that. If I was to give another negative, it would probably be for the lighting and audio effects during that sequence, which were, like, actually bothersome. You know what I mean? Especially, it would have been fine if it was, like, for a little bit, but no, that took a little while. It was several minutes of and just glare. I get what they were going for, but, I mean, I don't know. Oh no, repel wore off. But yeah, too much repeated dialogue. Just the whole thing, no. Like I said, one negative is generous as far as I'm concerned. I was actually just thinking that, Baron. God, we are really chopping today. I don't know why. Nothing's changed, it's just I suddenly have a worse connection today for whatever reason. Oh, that's not going. Yeah, whatever, I guess. Water gym. I know which Pokemon I'm going to try to hit this gym with. Because it amuses me. I mean... I'm trying to think how to phrase this blow-up, Alex. One of the things that I've gotten criticism about many, many times, especially this year, is that I am too negative when it comes to these reviews. All of my reviews. Now, I don't agree, to be clear. I do defend my position, but I think part of the point is, from my mentality, I can't avoid being positive or negative, if that makes any sense. In short, I don't want to hold back about something I don't like any more than I want to hold back about something I do like. Does that make any sense? I know it sounds really dumb. Like, I've been trying to push that mentality onto myself because I've had too many issues, especially in earlier years, where I have been too inclined to be positive or negative, specifically because I was reviewing a game that people liked, or one that people didn't like. Of course, I do absolutely want your guys' opinion and feedback, especially if you disagree with me. So it's not like I don't want to say, you have no right to influence my opinion. But it's more like I do want to have my own opinion. Anyways, hello, Apsu. I mean, oh yeah, total gameplay and story segregation, Kira. That's been true for basically all of the legendaries. Like, going back to Gen 1. But disagreeing is fine. I encourage disagreements, as long as they're legitimate. Twilight. I have no comment. I'm sure it's popular. After all, it made a lot of money. I am not in any feasible manner cheating. No, Cordoon. I mean, yeah, I am... I do have 999 Master Balls. But that is the... Ooh, Ventures! But that is the only cheating I've done. And that's just to save me time in capturing and nothing else. I am more or less deliberately using a fire Pokemon in a water gym just to be funny. We should be getting towards the end there, Hazardous. It is a cheat, and I'm pretty sure I put that on the document. Oh, nope, I didn't. My bad. Let me make sure it's there. But yes, this game is quite easy. It is something I have actually complained about. It is a little too easy, with no options to do anything about it. In fact, I would say the easiness of this game is the only gameplay negative over there that is unique to this game. He says as he Mega Evolutions every single time. Uh-oh, he raised his defense. What am I gonna do? So I meant to ask you, Blue Wolf Alex, because you bowed out before I could ask you this yesterday. What didn't you like about Sun and Moon, if you don't mind my asking? What do you mean, the navigate, Gum Gum? I already said that. Not you, sorry. Yes and no, Dream Whisperer. You notice we're having a few blip issues. This is not a perfect solution. But yes, I am streaming with a physical 3DS right here. Screw it. All in. As I've mentioned before, though, Alex, it's been shown... It's an actual thing that there are several Pokemon games that know how to make the game properly hard, not just increase the levels of the enemies. Basically having the mindset of a meta competitive player when building the teams of the enemies. Designing Pokemon that use their advantages and types and have cross coverage and combos and all the kind of things that we do normally with these games. It's just make the AI do those. And then have an AI that actually is good enough to, utilize those combos. Instead of the always use whatever they're weak against mentality of Gen 1 and 2. Anyways, what's your question about the NCR Gum-Gum? I must have missed it. That's why I would want it to be an option to play it, not an actual thing. Or not a normal thing, you know what I mean? No! So in case you're paying attention here, what I'm trying to do is raise my gym's prestige. Yeah, Black and White had a hard mode, but all it really did was boost their levels, which is why I mentioned that earlier. It was nice to see it. It was nice to see something there. It's just, levels aren't a great form of difficulty. Ah, the NCR is corrupt. Wait, what's the question, though? I still didn't see a question. Or are you just asking my opinion? I mean, obviously the NCR is a corrupt organization, because it is an organization. It is consistent of many different people who disagree with each other, some of whom are using it because they are because they are taking advantage of the system, and some people who are using it because they are trying to do the best they can with what they have. See you around, Omega Legion. Have a good night. Get good rest. Yes, the Battle Frontier in Gen 3, actual Gen 3, was stuff that they put a lot of thought and work into and are notoriously hard. I mean, Team Skull is pretty much deliberately designed to be a non-threatening group. Which, that's actually one of the reasons I like them. So I can see that. They do, Dream Whisperer, but there's... Basically, the older the Pokemon game, the easier that is to do, to put that into simplistic terms. I just feel like a quick and easy heal. I do remember the Battle Frontier in Platinum, and those were some mean fights. Very fun, though. Like, up until that point, I'd been kind of coasting in Platinum, and all of a sudden, oh god! Of course, Platinum was one of my playthroughs where I was trying to catch them all. And anytime I do a catch them all playthrough, I spend the overwhelming majority of my experience on Pokemon I am leveling just to fill out the Pokedex rather than my actual team. So, my actual team was kind of under-leveled in Platinum. How's that for a weird thought? Time is it? Yeah, okay. No. Okay, I can do that. One of the things I've always kind of bothered me about the Pokemon games, and this is a very minor complaint, it's been true in all of them, is if you tap right, you don't move one square to the right. You look right. Like, here, watch. This is just me tapping in each direction. So you don't move. It counts as a movement, because you can encounter Pokemon while never moving an inch. Ah, I screwed up. Damn it, I'm gonna have to turn my brain on again, aren't I? Ugh! I hate thinking. And I think about how awful life is. Must kill self. There we go. Okay, we're good. We're dead. Okay, fine. I'll actually think about it. So I have to start on one of those, so I could do that, and then... hang on. Nope, that won't work. I am glad it resets. It's just... Nope, that won't work. You can go diagonal? Oh, I didn't know. Okay, that completely changes the puzzle if you can go diagonal. I'm sitting here thinking, I actually can't figure this out. Hang on. Because every ending I came up with ended with me in the wrong spot at the end of it. Okay, so that changes it. So... that's easy then. Or, well, it'd be easy if the buttons would do what I wanted them to do. So let's try this again. So we're gonna walk rather than run. Actually, that doesn't work, does it? Okay, hang on. That actually won't work. Hang on, hang on. You know what? I'm just going to admit I'm stupid. Hang on. I'll put the dunce hat on. I'm just going to look this up. I don't care. Okay. Oh, I suppose I should do that. There we go. There we go. Fine. I just wanted a frickin' picture. Oh. I'm pretty sure it would actually have self-destructed pretty quickly, Gum Gum. Kaiser's Legion was already on the downswing when we hit New Vegas. For no reason. Didn't even need to look that one up. What the hell? That one was way easier. What do you mean, Plutonio? Or you just mean he's lying? Like he's just in the brain. Well, see, that's the catch, isn't it, Baron? As I mentioned, the part of the point is that you have to, like, if too few people can beat your gym, then you lose prestige. But if too many people can beat your gym, it lowers your prestige. So if you have really, really hard puzzles, very few trainers would be able to complete your gym, and that would lower your prestige. Oh, Jesus, he has rollout. He has rollout. Alert. Alert. Hey, Psychotron, what's going on? Ugh. Rollout is always the bring out the nuke option. See, most of the rest of my team is actually pretty decently leveled for this place. But, you know, shrug. Gotcha, Plutonia. Aw. Well. Oh, there we go. We salvaged it. Although we screwed up again. I can still salvage that. Up. Up. Up, up, over. There we go. I mean, Kaiser's Legion is pretty horrible, so yeah. Well, I guess, but only for you, Max Time. There you are. Thank you very much, Cody. Much obliged and appreciated as always. And if you'll give me a moment. Oops. So noted. Thank you again. No, I like this better next time. Wait, I've got it. I've got it. There. Now it's like the two of you are facing off for which one is the true Max Time. Who shall be the victor? Yeah, Love Disc is pretty pathetic for combat. Ah, crap. Oh, well. I screwed up. No. I meant to do basically the reverse of that. Yeah, but Sunkern can evolve. Love Disc cannot. Beat the game with Love Disc. Oh god, that just sounds horrible. I screwed up again. Damn it. See, now I'm impatient to get back to where I was in the puzzle. It's always my biggest thing. It's like, well, I've already solved this. God dang it. I have a weird idea here. Probably not Gum Gum, no. I'm not even sure how I'd do that. I am Wallace, totally not the champion. I have many opinions about it, Psychotron. Did you have to go with the butt shot? What is he wearing? Oh no, guys, it's a love disc. Whatever will I do? Other than go Mega and kill it in the face. So, opinions on WoW Classic. First of all, I am in favor of there being something like that for people who want it. Yeah, I'm in favor of options. I've always been in favor of options. Some people want that full-time, some people want that environment, some people want to experience the content that is now no longer in current WoW. Primal Groudon to take out the Doom. This might actually hurt. Yep. Well, max. Oh, it crit. That's why. Let's say I should have lived through that, but whatever. Ah, well. Almost swept the dungeon. Yes, I can say with 100% certainty because there already has been Plutonia. Because WoW Classic is not WoW Vanilla. It's also worth noting WoW Vanilla doesn't technically exist, and people disagree on what should be qualified as WoW Vanilla. People tend to forget that WoW Vanilla was quite a few different patches during which very large fundamental changes happened to the core game structure. Now, will I ever play WoW Classic? No. There's no reason for me to be. I have absolutely zero interest in WoW Classic. Ugh. Yeah, melodic is always a wall for us. This is not the first time we've had this exact same problem. You got it, Shadow Machine. Wait. And he's going to use a full restore, or, yep, whatever. Thank you very much, Royting. As always, appreciate the sub, thank you. Although you didn't tell me what you want to put the sub towards. Anyways, what was my favorite class to play? Warrior. Easy answer. Tank for life. As far as do I still play WoW? No. BFA was... I stopped playing during BFA. There we go. Let's put it that way. Let's be nice and civil about it. I don't know what that is. What's a wish cache? Oh. You got it, Royting. There we go. So noted. Well, I was trying to sweep it with just you next time. You came close, but I'm tired of messing around, so... Dragon Rush? Accuracy 75. No. That's just... no. Low accuracy is always a no, because I know that anytime I send out a low accuracy ability, it has approximately a 1% chance to hit. Yeah, generally at this point, anything below 90 I tend to not use. Just because of experience on that one. You know what? Let's swap out here. Oh no, rain dance. Watch out, guys. So that is the first fight that's made me have to think at all. That's a good question, Max Time. Why did Digimon never get as popular as Pokemon? Man, I can only guess. And there's Waterfall, which I think is our last move for Braygwin. No, Max Time, I have not. Now, I would argue, personally, that one of the reasons Pokemon took off in the States so much is because, initially, obviously, is because of just an overwhelming wave of marketing. When Gen 1 first came out, they hit that hard. They hit the ground running. They tied it into Nintendo Power. They had comics, which were tying into the anime. They had the game itself, of course, which was being covered by everything. It was also a Game Boy title, and to put this as bluntly as I possibly can, the original Game Boy didn't actually have that many good titles on it. So having a good game, or at least what at the time was a good game, on the original Game Boy suddenly became a console seller. Yeah, it is to this day arguably the Game Boy title. The only other thing that even challenges that is Link's Awakening. Or Tetris. So... I like that. Easy to push over. Alright, let's try the Eon Flute. Nintendo has never really had issues with funding Sonic Doctor, so make of that what you will. What? Oh my god, there's encounters up here. Negative to gameplay for encounters in the sky. So there's the Altaria we're not using. No, writing. I don't do Nuzlockes. I don't like Nuzlockes. Ah, that's what that is. I see it more clearly now. Bonk. Oh, no, it actually went over. Holy crap. Then I would do it, Shadow Machine. Like, if you asked me to cut my arm for $1 million, I'd probably do that, too. It doesn't mean I like doing it. It's like I can't land somewhere I haven't been yet. Which is the only thing that would make this even better than it already is. No, this isn't WoW Flying. WoW Flying's a little different than this. This is actually a really cool representation of the region, though. This is kind of more Dragon Quest VIII flying. You're welcome, Psychotron. I'm glad you liked them. Because for those of you who don't remember, in Dragon Quest VIII... Whoops, I'm sorry, I just dinged the mic there. There's literally another version of the world, which is basically a worse version, a lesser resolution version of the overworld, which is rendered only when you're flying around, just like this. Funnily enough, Dragon Quest VII does the same thing, and arguably so does Secret of Mana. There's a few games that have used that conceit. So, I'm just gonna give this a plus. I don't even care. This is actually really cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You can't tell, obviously, because I have since turned off the lower screen for quality's sake. But there's also a map, a mini-map of the world down here, which shows where I am and what I'm doing at the time. And I'm guessing I will land in the Poké Center, because that's like the center. That is a very cool feature. I am legitimately tempted to give that a second plus. I'm not going to, but God. Oop. Interesting max time. Okay. I don't recognize that. What is that? Oh, it's a Relicanth. Yeah, I'm with you, Max Time. Although you're answering the wrong person, because the person who the person who asked this core question was Sonic Doctor, not me. You should probably be adding Sonic Doctor. Like, I'll read you regardless. I just seem to have really weird rare encounters this run. I mean, I had a Skarmory with my very first encounter, and then I got 2 more immediately after it. Well, there's other gym-type challenges, Dream Whisperer. There's the Marriage Challenge, there's the Solo Challenge. Those are the only ones I really get into. I will not do a Nuzlocke. I have absolutely no interest in it. We've been debating that, Baron. Basically, it would be a negative for the future games, but that is something we have been debating. Let's see. How do I get over there? Ah, well, that's easy enough. Oh god, the Braille thing. I remember the Braille thing. I should do that really quick. There's got to be a way to go south. Oh god, this is the point, isn't it? This is when I got lost. What do you want to bet? Maybe not. Maybe I'm an idiot. Well, I suppose that's not a maybe, is it? You know what I would like? If repills were like a toggle thing that you bought that were much more expensive. So instead of buying like 50 repels, you know, you have a repel toggle. You know, the repel function of the Pokénav or something like that. Oh, for God's sakes, die! Alright, now Max Time says I have to go to the right, which is insane. I'm not sure I believe him. He leads me so astray. Why would you go right? Maybe this really is the section where I got lost. Where I had no idea what I was doing in the original. I remember because I put the game down for a bit, like, okay, screw it. And it's not like GameFAQs existed back then. Don't I need to do the last gym? Hello, MSC. What is up? I'm not ignoring you. I wanted the teleport spot Max Time. This is classic Diablo 2 logic here. You get the waypoint before you go exploring. Or I'm saying that wrong. You get the waypoint before you continue. So that way, when I need to go back here, I can just go right here. It's the whole reason I kept going this way. That's very strange, but whatever. So now, we're going to go ahead and just head over to Whatchafig. I guess that's true max time, but whatever. I has the spot. That's what I wanted. What I really want now is a vendor. I need many things. Only during the cutscene, Reuting. There's no... Okay, whatever. Unskippable cutscenes. I like this song, too. Yeah, sure, give me a sec, Alex. I mean, there's a reason I gave it a separate plus, Pugity. That is a great feature. Let's see, badges. Apparently I cannot... Oh, there we go, here's our badges. Badge, 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 badge. There you go, there's all the badges. So yeah, time to hit the Elite Four, and then we'll see what we'll probably... What time is it? What do you think? You think I could beat the Elite Four in 17 minutes? I'm getting interrupted by idiots. Get out of my way. I'm also not over-leveled, or at least not supremely over-leveled. Get out of my way! Ah, it's true, I got the cave. So what we'll probably do then is we'll try to push through the cave before lunch break. Then break. Then we'll come back, and then we'll see what we do with the Elite Four. No, Baron. What we can have is a moment of cheering for the end of HMs, because HMs were dumb. They were dumb in Gen 1, and they're dumb in Gen 6. At least in their implementation. I don't mind the idea of HMs. In fact, I actually kind of like the idea of HMs as they are implemented later, like in Sun and Moon. Or in Let's Go. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed this max time, but I'm basically just pushing you to the front so that you get the bulk of experience. Quiver Dance. Yeah, alright. But yeah, I'm trying to boost you as high as I can, max time. I am literally treating you as the actual nuclear option here, which means I need you to have a level advantage in addition to everything else. Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah, exactly, Shadow Machine. Yeah, I love the ride Pokemon concept. That was... When I first played Sun and Moon, you probably remember, I made a big deal about that, and that's why. It's like, holy crap. They finally did it. The best part was they kept Surf and Fly and all that. They were just moves. I mean, how would they know, Gum Gum? Time Waster casts Waste Your Time 7. It is super effective. Could be, Baron. I don't remember how fly... I think flying in Sun and Moon is just fly, right? It's just a teleport. I think. Don't quote me on that. Go up the... Really? Use water? Oh, I didn't give him water. Oh, okay, that's the problem here. Hang on. That's on me. Waterfall. See, I think this is Bragwin's final ability. Surf, dive, rock break, and waterfall. Yeah. HM Slave. God. It's just a total coincidence that Bragwin happens to be a flyer, so it fits for the challenge. Alright, here's hoping there's some good music. Usually I can't remember what it's called. The League Road, whatever, has some good music in just about all of Victory Road, that's it. So hopefully we get some good Victory Road music in this one. Actually, speaking of which, just to speed up this particular section. Honestly, yes, Vitamine, although I doubt they will. I'm especially worried because it seems like they keep reusing both models and animations from the 3DS games on the Switch, which they shouldn't. To put that as simply as I can. Like, this is the perfect time for the Pokemon Company and Game Freak to go ahead and sit down and basically make a new model and new animation set for all the moves and all the Pokemon. Like, this is the time to do that. It would require effort on their part. Forgive me for using the F word. Dynamaxing! You have all the HMs, right? Because if you don't, screw you. Which I don't have cut on me. Is there anything here I give a damn about? Actually, there is. Quite a few. There's an Aggron I could get here. But I don't care. Moving on. Now, I actually agree, Sonic Dodger. It's kind of like the idea that Bethesda games should be on a new engine. See, I understand, not fully, but I do understand from an amateur perspective, that that is a lot of time and work and effort and money. I just don't care because it's Bethesda. They have inordinate resources at their back, right? They can afford to dump the money on a brand new engine. Same general concept with Pokemon. Pokemon is a cash cow franchise. Oh, is that a Frostlass? Oh, you are so dead. Which is a shame, because Frostlass is awesome. But yeah, I have the same general thought with Pokemon. There's no excuse. Spend the time and money, and do it. This is legitimately hard to see where I'm going. Give me a second. Dude, Frostlass is awesome. The only thing I don't like about Frostlass is it is, no pun intended, a severe glass cannon. Like, it cannot take a hit worth a damn, but it is awesome. High speed, high damage, high special attack, I should say. And it's ice type and ghost type. Hell yes. Disappointed? Yes, a Glyce cannon. Honestly, I'm going to say Bethesda has disappointed me more. Because BioWare... Well, there's no nice way to say this, but by the time BioWare started tipping down in quality, I was expecting it. The only time the BioWare dip in quality really caught me across the knees was Mass Effect 3. After that, it became the norm. Which I know is kind of sad to say, but it's still true. Well, the good news, Vitamine, is we're still getting good games every now and again. I say that so casually. We're still getting good games. Good games still come out. Although I will admit there are plenty of franchises which are not as good as they used to be, to put that as nicely as I possibly can. Dragon Age 2 is a game I can enjoy either on easiest difficulty or with cheating. There is still good in Dragon Age 2, in my opinion. Make of that what you will. Easiest difficulty with cheating is even better. Not even joking. In fact, honestly, when we did the Dragon Age lore run, when we did the Dragon Age 2 lore run, do I want that? Can I lose Fly here? Nope. Because it's an HM, because HMs are poison. I would have lost Fly right there, but whatever. Anyways, I forgot how relatively good Dragon Age 2 actually was up until that final act. Like, Act 1 and Act 2 were like, oh wow, this is better than I remembered. And then we got to Act 3, which was actually worse than I remembered. And Act 3 of Dragon Age 2 is just... God, everything just falls apart instantly. As if they just suddenly forgot how to make a game, or maybe we're making the game in 11 months. It's not even just the finale, Shikor. Like, try to picture, if you can, all of the personal quests. Every act in Dragon Age 2 has a personal quest, which is... and most of them are good. What the hell? Oh, apparently he's immune to fire? Okay, whatever. In Act 3, the personal quests are like, go talk to this guy, and they chat a little bit, and sometimes it's about their character arc, and sometimes it's not. And it's just, it's over and it's done. Just, there you go. Like, that's the conclusion of the personal character arcs. Is frickin', hey, what's up? How are things? Bye. And yeah, all of a sudden, just all of the characters like, and suddenly this is true, and suddenly this is true. And yeah, as Tessie accurately points out, Act 3 is like an hour and a half or something. It's pathetically short. Sprinting for the finish line there. Anyway, sorry. What is the best version of FF6 if you don't have a SNES? There is no answer to that, no coherent answer to that. Now, what I mean by that is there is no best version of FF6. So, you've got the original SNES, which has the best music. You've got the GBA version, which has the best storytelling. And you have the recent ports on the mobile and Steam, which are kind of crap, but have the best story and music built in. So they're lazy ports, which actually, I don't feel like listing at all. There's a lot of things wrong with the ports on the Steam and the OS version. However, it's usually the version I tend to recommend just because it's as good as it gets. You get the storyline of the GBA version, you get the music of the SNES version, and it's accessible, which is the other point. Like, if you go to... buying the Final Fantasy VI GBA version at this point in time is not an easy thing to do. I don't know what these guys are. I don't recognize these Pokemon. You're correct, Sonic Doctor. I'm absolutely not. Oh, they're fossils. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. That might suck, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, basically, nowadays, I recommend the Steam or mobile version. I just have to make it very clear that I don't think those versions are good, because they're not. They are, however, acceptable. If FF7R blows up, you mean good or bad? Because that could go either way. So if FF7R is wildly successful, I'd say 50% chance. Straight on the money. The problem is, the people who are most interested in doing FF6R are not the actual people who make the decisions like that. They are the devs. And devs don't make those choices. That's not the devs' call. And as I've said this before, and I'll say this again, Square Enix is very difficult to predict at this point in history. They do a lot of weird nonsense. I don't even mean bad nonsense, just weird nonsense. They're like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and they just bounce around. It's bizarre. And of course, hard to predict. I have written short stories, yes. How do I start off? I mean, I don't know how to answer that. For me, a short story is about a story that is... How do I phrase this? There's no real need to make it long. In short, it's a story that would not take a long time to tell. I also usually use short stories to tell little viewpoint stuff. You know, a differing perspective on a known issue kind of a deal. Oh, God, I can barely see what I'm doing. Looks like I go this... No? No? Okay, this way. This way, maybe? Yeah, exactly. Eric is correct. FF6 and its quality or lack thereof will have nothing to do with whether or not it's remade. I mean, I'll be watching the news, Roiting, but I'm not going to be watching it live. Well, I mean, FF7's quality has nothing to do with it being remade, Baron, so yeah. Oh, hey, it's my least favorite Gen 5 Pokemon. Seriously, least favorite. It's right there, on the right. Musharna. What the hell? Yeah, let's just get rid of that as quickly as we can. It's so gross and weird and ugly looking. It's supposed to be like gaseous smoke coming out of it. It's a dream Pokemon. I mean, look at it. Not that I'm aware of, Shikor, no. Oh yes, I did not get the national dex. Although I could, with ease. Yeah, it does look a lot like an umbilical cord. It is gas. You can see if you look at it close up. Any reason why max time? I mean, I'll do it, but I'm just curious why. Like, I'll be able to warp back to the end of Elite, the Victory Road, right? Like I usually can. Hey, Wally. What's up, dude? I'm a little surprised to see you here. Aw. Oh god, it's continuing into the fight. Look at that, the determined. I got this. We've even got a custom background. This is so cool. I feel bad that I'm about to kick your ass, Wally. It's not very effective. Half his health! That's a neat touch, Shadow Machine. What's that? You're ridiculously overpowered max time? I know! Magneton. Nah, you're good. I'm only at half health. Nah, you're good, you're good. Sturdy! Second hit! I'm so sorry, Wally. Roselia. Oh my god, this is just getting funny. So I had type disadvantage for the first fight. I've had type advantage for the second two. Wally's like, no! God, I'll never fight you again. What did I do? Dilcat, isn't that normal type? Isn't normal weak to fighting? I'm sorry. I feel so bad for this. Oh, Gallade. Holy crap. What is that? Fighting Psychic? Ah, we got this. But I will heal you just because I want to see the Mega. Okay, that actually looks pretty cool. That's gonna hurt. Yep. But it's not enough! I mean, I'm not evil. Sky Uppercut. Oh, do I want to grab that? Yeah. Epic transformation. One shot. Look at his face. No, You crushed me like a bug with one Pokemon. Give me your money, Wally. Where's my money? I feel so bad. No, Wally, I'm so sorry. Hang on, hugs. We gotta hug it out. Thanks for not holding back. You're welcome. Ignore the fact that I technically did hold back there. Rematch. Damn it! Oh, Dawnstone. So, Gallade. If I wanted to get one. Okay, I need a heal. Max Time's on the verge of death here. This is a weird song for, like, the final area. Welcome to the final dungeon. I guess this is after the final dungeon. There's a real song. Okay, so yeah, I need a few things here. First, I need some hyper potions. And I'm gonna want some more max repels. Actually, yeah, I wanted to get some escape ropes too. We're good. What time is it? Oh, Jesus. Well, now's a good time to figure it out anyway, so it's whatever, let's do it. I trust you, Max Time, I trust you. Right, we're gonna do this, aren't we? Also, I do agree, if we ever come back to this region, or if it's even referenced, Wally should be a gym leader. Or an Elite Four, depending. Whee! This is still awesome. Plus to gameplay. Whoosh. I swear it's a lot smoother in the actual game. I know it's stuttering. I'm gonna try and fix the stuttering during the lunch break. Okay, so I am... Where's my town? This is my town, right? Here? That's Oldale. Here we go. Little Root. What type would Wally be? I mean, he's his usual not actually stuck in a type thing. But if I had to pick a type for him, I think it would probably be Psychic. Oh my god, after I... Wait, what? So the in-lore explanation for why there's other Pokemon showing up is because Groudon showed up, and now all of a sudden there's other Pokemon around. Which has all kinds of implications. Excuse me, I meant super ancient. Just making sure. God, I have 147 on my Pokedex. I haven't really been trying that hard. Shut up, it's magic. I think Hoothor just needs a badge that says shut up, it's magic that he can just show at me. Where am I at? Whee. Oh, I can go faster! Oh, I didn't even know that! Dude, this is even better than I already thought it was. Pokemon League. Yep, I was right. I can just go straight here. Yeah, just set up a Nightbot command that's just confetti. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to save one final time. And we're going to chop off